For years and years there's been a war. An anime war. A war over what is better. Sub or dub? Do you want to watch a video in your own language? Or do you want to watch it in Japanese to please the subbers? I'm here today to put a rest to it once and for all.
Alright, hello, welcome to Inuyasha Talk again. Before we get started, I'm going to point out a few things besides my laundry in the back. Sorry about that. I'm going to point out that I noticed a few things in my last video. I'm really soft-spoken, so I think that some of the stuff I was saying was a little hard to understand, and I wasn't talking loud enough. And, you know, someone pointed out something to me about an accent, and at first I thought it was because I'm from Texas, that they were hearing something, like, as far as me being Texan, but, I think it was just me talking kind of fast and mumbling a little bit, probably a little nervous. I got a better editor, so if I do any of that, hopefully I can kind of cut it out and get to the point. And what we're going to be talking about today is something I've actually been really excited to talk about. We're going to talk about, here I go with the again. We're going to talk about dub versus sub. And I kind of didn't want to talk about it just because anytime I ever bring this up on social media, it's an automatic, I'll have like people responding to me. I mean, even on Facebook, outside of Twitter, which is what I'm mainly on as far as the Inuyasha community, but on Facebook even, there's been some people who, you know, I just post something in the comments like, oh, well, I prefer to watch it and dub. And I mean, they attack me. I mean, like, they pretty much tell me I shouldn't even watch it. Like, I don't deserve to watch it if I'm gonna watch it like that. And that's really where my issue stems from. And so I just kind of want to talk about it and really what the difference is and what's the big deal, right? Because you would think, I speak English, right? So you would think, wouldn't you enjoy to watch a show in the language you speak? Where's the controversy there? Well, I understand the controversy a tiny bit. Every language has words that mean something different. So for instance, we're talking about dub right now. We're using the word dub as, you know, in reference to dubbing a language into a different language, I guess, if that makes sense. But in other languages, you use the word dub and it would mean, I've heard even that dub can mean loser in some languages. So that is tricky. So when you're listening to something like we're watching Ashihime, for example. Now the difference is in sub, the scene where Sesshomaru comes and gets the twins originally in season 1, you'll have Rin say, I have faith in you, Lord Sesshomaru. And then when the dub version, you have her say, in the dub version, you have her say, I have faith in you, Lord Sesshomaru, always. And the reason for that is because words mean different things in different languages. So that's the argument for sub is better. But I've also watched several episodes where I'm actually like watching them in sub, where I'm like, what do they mean? That sounds very funny. That's very awkward, corny. Doesn't make sense. I get the gist of what they're saying, but it takes away from the emotion. It takes away from, like, I'm in a moment with the show. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what's he gonna say? I'm hanging on every word. So every word that they say means something. And then when they say something like very awkward, it kind of takes you out of that moment. So when you watch it in dub, they just translate it better to where you can understand in your specific language. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, the argument is it can change the meaning of the show, or that's the argument. I don't agree with it because I don't get how it could change the entire meaning of the show when it's translating it to better suit the person watching. You know, I don't want to sit here and read the subtitles. I don't even have good, like, vision. Read the subtitles and then have to go back and be like, oh, what did they say? I missed that word. And then the whole action going on in the back, which you want to catch, especially during a fight scene, you have to rewind and go back. I'm not saying it's always like that, but there are moments where it's like that, especially in a particular scene, if there's, people going back and forth, and they're talking fast, I'm actually a great reader. And I still have to sometimes go back and try and read what they said. And if it's in a different language, I'd have to understand what they're trying to say at certain points of it. And it's not like that the entire time. But why even add that extra to it? And when you get on, I actually did a little, I don't know if you want to call it research, but I kind of just wanted to, let's go to Google and see what Google says. I typed in sub better than dub, or dub better than sub, and literally the first thing that comes up is that I wrote it down here. Subbed is objectively better, and I put the little thing up here for you. And the first 4 or 5 links, it's just telling you why it's better. And I don't think that they're saying objectively, right? It's objectively better. But it shouldn't be objective. It should be specific to who is watching. If I'm telling you my experience is ruined, you don't need to go on Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, and write me a paragraph this long and tell me why I'm wrong, why my experience doesn't matter when watching the show. I never one time have watched an Inuyasha, the original series and final act. Watched an episode in sub, and I love that show. I desperately love that show. I'm doing a channel about this show. I love it. My experience was great. I feel all the same way that people who watched it in sub feel. And I understood, and I got to soak everything in. And I love Richard Ian Cox. I love the Monica Story, who... Sweet baby Jesus, I wish she didn't retire, because I can't stand the Kagome voice right now. I don't want it to change because I don't like change, and she's been here since the final act, but gosh, her voice is ridiculously annoying. I'm getting off topic, make another video about that, but I love the voice actors that I got to know, and it's something I grew up with. I'm from a different country than where the show originates. I don't get the complication. And I know I'm going to have people comment on here, it takes away the magic, and stuff that doesn't even, it takes away the magic for you, not for me. And I think that the conclusion of this entire thing is that sub isn't better than dub, and dub isn't better than sub. What's better is what's better for you. Personal preference. That's something today, and I'm not getting into politics, but I think that where I'm from, my country, the United States of America, I think that we're lacking. We don't have to be the same. We are not all the same. If you speak English and you want to go watch it in sub because you think there's more emotion in those characters' voices, or you want to read the subtitles because you think that's more true to what the actual dialogue is, then you do that. I don't think there's that much of a difference. The only difference for me is if you speak Japanese, it makes more sense to you to read it. Not to read it in sub, but if you, I'm trying to word this right, I don't want to offend anybody. If you speak Japanese and English, if you speak both of them, and you want to go watch sub because you understand the language and you speak and can read in English, and that's the best of both worlds for you, that's great. I'm not, because I'm bringing this up because I've had people say, I speak both languages and blah, 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 blah. Sub is so much better because blah, 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 blah. But that's better for the person in question because they speak both languages. I only speak English, and I know I can read, but I don't want to read. It's got nothing, I'm a great reader. Nothing to do with laziness. Nothing to do with just not wanting to. It makes more sense. I want to watch the show with Richard Ian effing Cox. I mean, that's what I want. I want to hear his voice. Actually, his voice has changed a lot, but I still want to watch with him. And I want to hear Rin say things and Sashomaru say things to where it makes sense and it doesn't sound corny. Especially, you know, on the Jockin, and I've been watching Sub, by the way. I watch every episode that comes out every week in Sub because I love the show that much. And it's not that huge of a deal. I mean, I want to see it when it's coming out, so I'm gonna do it. I'm not a Sub hater. That's not my preference. But anyways, Jockin, I watch dub too. I go back and I watch the dub as they come out. Jockin sounds so ridiculous when I watch in Sub. Like when I'm reading the things he's saying, it isn't making sense to me. He sounds super extra corny. I keep using that word corny, cheesy, because that's what it sounds like. But then when I watch it in dub, I'm like, that flows. That makes so much more sense to me. And you know, it's personal preference. That's kind of where I am with it. And, you know, I kind of have to say at the end of the day, I don't care. I mean, if you comment on this, if you at me on Twitter and you want to say that I am so wrong, that what I said doesn't make sense for you. It makes sense for Ree. I like it in dub. And I am going to say dub is the winner for me personally. Because I like to watch a show in the language I speak, and that's pretty much it. This is dragging on a little bit. I am going to do a poll on my Twitter, and I'm so excited that I'm able to put stickers and stuff up there now because I figured it out. Anyways, I want to make a poll on Twitter, and I am gonna put, you know, like, what should I make my video about next, or what do you guys want to hear about? And I really would appreciate if you all go follow me on there, and I kind of post on there daily, just random Inuyasha content, pretty much. But I'd appreciate if you guys would go on there, kind of vote, give me, and you know, in the comments, if there's something like in my videos, if you have like an opinion about them, if you're like, oh, they're too long, or they're too short, or hey, Ree, you're all over the place. Go ahead and tell me. I like constructive. Don't be rude. I'll be rude back. I like constructive criticism. Tongue-tied. I like it, and it helps me. And, you know, I want to interact with you guys. I will respond to everybody, and if you're kind, I'll be kind. And that's pretty much it for this video. And I will see you guys next time.